Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone, everybody. It's me Rehan live from Peshawar, and hope are you fine, all of you guys. As always, we have some programs and we invite some guests to the program. So today as well, we invite one of the best personality and very intelligent personality to this program. So hope you will enjoy it and get information from today live. So Daneen Andres is live today with me. So Daneen Andres is an Amazon best-selling author, and for her book "Learning to Pivot, Mastering Resilience." And she as well as an international speaker and coach. Daneen Andres has been featured in major American television and radio, podcast, NBC, ABC, American Broadcasting Corporation, CBC, Fox, and on radio, and many kind of radios, and as well podcast in several print news outlets. So thank you so much, Arden Andres, for coming here, for taking time, and thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored to be speaking with you today.
Thank you so much. So, simply, we always ask some question from guests and about their life. As we know, today the topic is about hope and how to survive in our life and how to be a very good human being in the society, how to be a successful and promoted human being in this world. So today as well, our topic is about hope. So I want to ask you some questions regarding hope, regarding your life, and many more a lot of things. So the first question, which is in my mind, I want to ask you from you, what is your message and book about that you have written a book and which is selling in Amazon?
Right. Thank you for that question. So, my book itself is about how to get to hope. It is
Mm-hmm.
a step by step guide on helping people go from feeling like they are lost and challenged and just trapped and beat up by the things that happen in life. The method
Mm-hmm.
itself is 7 stages of hope, because for each stage of grief, every time we suffer a loss of some kind, whether it is a relationship or whether it is a person in death, or even a thing, a house, a,
Mm-hmm.
anything, we feel that, and it is a very bad feeling for us. Once we go through that, for each of those stages, the denying that it happened, because sometimes our mind just doesn't want to work with that, or being angry, that it happened. Sometimes we go there. We almost always go there. And then there's the depression, which can be very dangerous for all of us. For each of those stages, for all 7 of the stages of grief, there is a more powerful stage of hope. And that's what I focus on in my book, is that of hope. So the first thing that happens when someone experiences something that's bad or even tragic, because our body acts the exact same way. The first thing that happens is we're in shock. We literally just, sometimes we freeze. We don't quite know what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
then we'll go from that to denial, where we don't even believe it. It's like this couldn't have possibly happened, or even asking, how could this have happened? Then we go into anger sometimes, not always in this order, but we do go into anger sometimes. We're just angry that it happened. Why did this have to happen to me? Or why did this have to happen in my family or to somebody that I love? Just why, you know? And instead of focusing our attention in those areas, I realized through my own experience that there is a lot on the side of hope. So, for instance, on that shock, one of the reasons why the title of my book is Learning to Pivot is because pivot, or that ability to rotate, right, is
Yeah.
very, very important for us. That ability to rotate gives us the opportunity to see things differently and to see
Mm-hmm.
things we've never seen before. So pivot is very important, or that rotation that you do. It's just like when you're playing football, right? You act like you're
Yeah,
gonna
of
go
course,
this
of
way,
course.
and then you turn and you go another way so that you can't be caught. And in life, we do that same thing. We
Yeah,
will go that way, and sometimes we'll have to go back the same way because
yeah,
our goal is very narrow. But still, we have to make that adjustment so that these obstacles and challenges don't throw us down. The same thing, with the anger, it's getting centered. We can't think straight when we're angry. No one can. It Our blood doesn't even go all the way to our brain when we're angry. So we have to get centered, whatever that takes for someone, whether it's the music or a meditation or whatever it is. It prayer, it's getting centered, being calm, within yourself. And each of those stages, those are but three that we just talked about.
yeah,
But for each
exactly.
of each of those stages, there is there is hope. There's the opportunity to find hope. So in my book, I literally give step by step, this is what you need to do to go from feeling trapped and at a loss over to the side of hope. Thank you
Mhm.
for that question.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was good experience, good information that you presented. So, guys, you can also contact Daneen Andres by www.denen, DEN, and 360.com. So, thank you. The second question, which is in my mind, I would like to ask you that what made you want to write a book about the power of the hope?
Because it was hope, honestly, is the reason why I'm still here today. I
Mm-hmm.
have been through so many things in my life that at one point I didn't recognize that I was still alive or even wanted to be alive because so many things kept happening to me. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't necessarily me specifically. It
Mm-hmm.
was all about the fact that what was going on. So I'll give you some examples.
Yes.
So I have family. I love my family. They are most important to me in my life. My loved
Yes.
ones, my family is most important to me. So if something goes wrong there, it really affects me tremendously. I'm always there for them. So first, I had an aunt pass away,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the funeral. She lived out of town, so we had to travel to the funeral. We get there, we're not all there yet, and the funeral hasn't actually happened. And my cousin, who took care of her, his mom, while she was alive, he
Mm-hmm.
dropped dead of a heart attack. When we had to send him to have his body prepared for burial, the funeral home thought that they had made a mistake and they called us apologizing because they had someone with the same address and the same last name. So they thought they had made a mistake. We had to tell them, no, they didn't make a mistake, and try to figure out how we could make both of them happen at once. On the other side of my family, not even 2 weeks later, I had an uncle pass. We were driving home from his funeral, still in our clothes from his funeral, and got a phone call on my cell phone that said that my cousin had passed. His son had been killed in a car accident He was taking people home from the funeral, dropping them off at different places, and was killed in a car accident. I was in complete and total shock. I had no idea, and nor did his sister, who was in the car with me, had no idea what we should do. Should we go home? Should we go to the hospital? Should we? I didn't live in that state, so I was trying to figure out if I should even leave. Should I stay? What the confusion was a lot. But the thing that really took me into darkness, that is the crux of the book and the message, is the oldest member of our family passed away. 2 days later,
Yes.
my boyfriend passed away as well.
Mhm.
He drowned. I had responsibility for both of them. I had to take care of everything for my uncle. And because his wife had died before him and he didn't have children. So that meant I needed to take care of his affairs.
Exactly.
For my boyfriend, we didn't live in the same place. He lived in a totally different state. So I
Mhm.
had to go handle his things with his mom as well. So that was a lot. I was traveling a lot. I was tired. I was not eating. It was a lot to handle. So after I took care of my responsibilities for both, when I got home, I really just kind of checked out.
Yeah.
I didn't eat. I couldn't eat. I couldn't
Yeah,
sleep.
exactly. It was due to a lot of depression, tension, anxieties, and a lot of difficulties.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That everyone goes through, but I just kept feeling like I was just getting hit and hit and hit and hit
Yeah.
over and over again. And I honestly went into a depression that was so deep. I the only thing that brought me out literally was the love of my family and the passage
Yes.
of time. And we've all gone through some things. And I'm sure you yourself have had different experiences that you didn't necessarily think you were going to get through. So,
Mhm.
before I continue, could you tell me a bit about your experience?
Yeah, exactly. I'll present my own experience of my whole lifetime. Actually, everyone has a difficult time in their lives. So everyone face this is life. For example, if you go from one place to another place, so there might be a lot of difficulties when you sit in a car. So the road will be humpty dumpty, So sometimes there will be a lot of problems. The same life from birth to death, you will face a lot of difficulties, a lot of problem, a lot of tension, depression. Sometimes you will cry a lot. Sometimes tears will running on your face, or sometimes you will be laughing. Sometimes you will face really a lot of smile. This is life, and this is happen in our lives. So in my whole lifetime, when I was the most difficult time, I want to tell you, the most difficult time in my whole lifetime is when I was at the age of 5. So we were three brothers, and my father passed away in that time. So I was at the age of 5, so it was very much much difficult time for me, because on that time we were very poor, and we were very small. So I always missing my friends so much, my father, sorry, so much. So whenever I was watching some of my friends, they were running, they were walking with their father, they were going to shopping. So actually, I miss my father so much. So when it became night, so sometimes I cry a lot a lot due to much depression, tension, and missing my father. So that is the most difficult time. So by the passage of time, I become success. I got education, and I got some of the jobs. So step by step, still now. So I'm okay, feeling well. So this is called hope, you know. So when you were in a bad situation, so step by step it will change. So you are not be in one position. You are not be in one stage. Step by step, by the passage of time, you will get promotion. So this is all about my life experience. They have a lot of life experience in my life, so if I tell, so it will take a lot of much time. So thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. So the third question, which I want to ask you from you, what is the one thing you would like for the audience to take away from his interview?
The thing that I would like is there's actually three, not just
Mhm.
one, but there's actually three.
Yeah.
And yes, that is number one. We are more, we are stronger
Mm-hmm.
and more powerful and wiser than we have ever thought or ever given ourselves credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we have inside of us, we were given by our Creator everything we need to be successful. Everything that we need. We have to
Mm-hmm.
go in and we have to ask for it. It's not just about us thinking that we are standalone, all powerful. There is an all powerful, and we have to ask for that help. And lastly, hope is about action. It's not just a mindset. You have to do something. That's the reason why in my book, Learning to Pivot, Mastering Resilience, I give you step by step instructions on how to get to hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a thought. It's not just a feeling. We actually have to do something when we have that thought, when we have that feeling, we have to do something to work toward what it is we want. And just like in the example that you gave, you had to work towards the thing that you wanted. In the example that I gave, I also had to work toward it. In my case, I needed to do a lot of research and studying because I had never been at that place before in life. And I didn't know anything about being that low and that depressed and that down. I had never been there before. So I actually had to do some studying for myself and I had to apply. But in the end, I had to do what I needed to do for me to get back to being a productive person, to get back to being someone that is of support to my brothers and sisters and support of the world, not just, my being self centered. So it was a lot of work going into that. And in going through that work, I realized that this is something that everyone would like assistance in because there are so many things that are going on in the world today to give us reason to be not just sad, but give us reason to feel trapped or feel like we're at a loss or just straight out, we could lose, family members in death. Any of those things can bring us down. But we were given inside of us what we need to come back up, to be resilient, to literally make that pivot or make that turn in order to get back to being your better self. So those are the things that I really want people to take away from this interview is that you are stronger, more powerful, and wiser. You have access to the wisdom of all the ages, in asking for that higher power and help there. More than we ever have given ourselves credit for. We've been given everything we need to be successful. Everything we need. We also need to remember that
Mm-hmm.
hope requires action. It's not just about a thought. I really want to believe that this is going to turn out my way. No, you have to work to make it turn out your way.
Thank you so much. It was great experience, and one of my friend on Facebook, he asked one question that Asibullah, his name Asibullah. He said that how to reach to our destination, our goals, how to achieve that. So if you can answer that.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
first, you the first thing you have to do is identify what it is that you want. The
Mm-hmm.
next thing you have to do is take action. You can't be worried about all the details because if you knew how, you would already do that, right? But you need to take whatever action you can from where you are right now with whatever you have. It doesn't matter how much you have or how little you have. It's first, have a vision. Second, take action. Just like hope requires action, achieving those goals requires action. As a matter of fact, um, everything that is done in the world is done in hope because you have that expectation, but it takes the action. Those are the two things. Those are the two most important things. Number one, have that goal. And it sounds like they have it, they have one in mind. Number two, take action, no matter how small, no matter how small, take action. I know I myself, before, sometimes the action was reading an article so I could get more information on something because I just didn't know. And so
Yeah.
I needed to educate myself. But once I had that education, I couldn't just sit on it. Then I still had to take physical action, another step toward that goal. And that would be my advice to the question. Thank you for that question.
Yeah. Thank you. It was good answer. It was also good question and as well good answer.
Thank you.
Exactly. So once as well, if you have some question regarding hope, so you can also post here on Facebook, and then I will she will answer that. So again, if you want to contact Daneen, so www dot Daneen DEN and 360.com. And Daneen Andres is an Amazon best-selling author for her book Learning to Poet, Mastering Resilience. And she's also international speaker and coach as well. She's a motivational inspirational speaker, and she's featured on major American televisions, ABC, American Broadcasting Corporation, and CBC, Fox, and many, many other radios. So you can ask any question regarding hope if you wanna ask. Yes, Denin, if you have something else more.
Absolutely. Always.
Mm.
Always. So one of the questions that I often get asked is, so since you wrote the book, now what? Right? Now what is your goal?
Mm-hmm.
So since I wrote the book, my goal is to spread hope to as many people as I can, actually teaching them how to get in that mindset, motivating them to action. As I said to you in preparing, literally 1 month after my book was published, my mom passed away.
Mm.
And that was devastating to me as well. But I was able to manage through that actually by following the steps in my book. It doesn't mean that I didn't have feelings. It doesn't mean that I didn't grieve. I most certainly grieved. I most certainly was hurt. And of course, I think about my mom every day to this minute. And I'm sure that I will.
Mm.
What it did do was give me what I needed to continue to be able to function well, to go about the business of life, and to continue to help others. And that's what it was all about to begin with, was my helping others to reach hope. So
Mm.
it was, even though it was a terrible thing for me to have to go through, to lose my mom, of, yes, as I say in my book, rely on that higher power. Rely on your support system that you have here. Remember that sometimes in life, the things that happen, while you may see it and experience it, the benefit may not be for you. The benefit may be for someone else or that other person. So I had to think about those things and remind myself of those things and read my book again, quite frankly, to get those re-solidified in my head. Because, of course, I was deep in my own heart. I was deep in my own grief at the time, but I kept going through the power of that pivot, through the power of that rotation, because it gave me that other perspective of, okay, yes, I'm hurt, but this actually was about my mom. She didn't suffer. It could have been horrible, right? She did not suffer. She had a loved one with her, and she was doing something she wanted to do.
Mm.
So the gift was for her. The lesson was for her. For me, what I got out of that was the recognition that I have to realize the benefit is sometimes for someone else.
Thank you. Thank you so much. One of the person, he is by the name of Muhammad Rizwan. He asked that, how can I help poor people if I don't have money? So this is simply, if you don't have money, so you can't help people. Is this right?
That's not true.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly, exactly. Just I was kidding with you. So if you don't have money, how he can help poor people? At least he can advise him or her. At least he can give smile. At least he can motivate or inspire him. Is this right?
absolutely. And the thing that you can do as well is understand what else they need, because
Mm.
we are all rounded people. We need more than one thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, we need money so that we can buy food and clothes and a place to live, but we also need happiness and support and someone just to talk to sometimes, because you
Mm.
never know what someone is thinking. They may be in a very low or dark place, and just the fact that you took the time to talk to them lifts them up. And that sometimes is what gives someone the reason to continue to the next day.
Yeah. Thank you. It was a good answer, and what, some of the guys, some of the people, sometimes they face with a lot of anxieties, depression. Sometimes they will cry. Sometimes, they will face nothing. For example, they didn't face any difficulties, but they are very sad, upset. So how they become, happy and bring happiness in their lives? So what they should do according to your mind?
So there are a few things. You can't just force happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's usually something that is there that is robbing you of your happiness. So
Mm.
understanding what that thing is that's going on in your life, if you can't change that thing, whatever is going on, if you can't change that, You can change how you think about it. Just like the example I gave of my mom dying last year.
Hmm.
That was devastating to me because I love my mom dearly and I will until it's impossible for me to. But what I did was change my thought process on it to what I was talking to you about. In her death, I recognized that she was doing something she wanted to do. She knew she was loved, she was not alone, and she did not suffer. So, what that did was gave me the mind shift that I needed because I can't change the fact that my mom died. I can't change that. What I can change is my mind and how I think about it.
Yeah, thank you. So that's all about. Thank you so much for coming, taking time, and you gave so much precious information to the audience, to me. And hope and I will invite you next time as well to come to our program and talk about different kind of more topics.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you very much for having me on your show today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I am honored to have been here. My name is Daneen Andrades. I can be
Yes,
reached at www.deneen360.com.
calm. Yeah, that's great. So thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice time. Thank you.
Have a great
Take
evening.
care.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.